think the only thing I would add is we should request some sort of documentation about what it is that they came up with. If that's...
Yeah, well, we get in touch with the score and see what they can find in the mentor. And
what do they do though? Do they have a final report or something? Or?
I mean, typically with these kind of things, like for SBDC, I know, we have an online logging system where the consultant logs hours spent with the client and then a brief description of what was covered. So there should be some sort of requirement or some sort of log to show what they talked about at least.
I just think there needs to be some sort of a loop back, because let's say that they discuss something that we could then react to and say, hey, you really need to do that third thing that you guys talked about.
That's a good point.
Because otherwise, it's just, okay, you met with them, and it's another year down the road. There ought to be some sort of actionable item.
We should mandate that an action plan list. That would be encouraged and necessary.
Or even specify that the consultant mentor helps them to see what an exit plan is. I mean, just start thinking about how we.
Can we? Anybody who's in for forbearance, can we make them do it?
Yes.
Well, this is basically making them do it.
Yeah, that's kind of.
No matter who it is, no matter who's in forbearance. I mean, it should be
Sure,
forbearance, and you're automatically going to
Well,
have to go through these steps.
Right. Some of these guys are probably better trained than the mentor. I mean, some of these companies
in their field,
yeah, right. MBAs and so forth, accountant training.
Maybe a thought would be then that we require some sort of an action plan. I don't want to call it a business plan, maybe that's what it is, but some sort of a plan within 6 months, within 4 months, within 3 months.
I think first quarter. First quarter of forbearance, we need some proof that this meeting.
Not only that the meeting's happening, but that there's an actual plan that we can then evaluate as it goes forward.
In Butch's case, that's important. In a lot of these cases, I mean, we do the exit plan for forbearance. That's something we came up with in the last 18 months. They report to us quarterly, right? And and that includes updates to the exit plan for forbearance, and as well as balance sheets and profit and loss, and all. I mean, the things we tell them they have to do are fairly extensive right now. The business consulting is a little different. We haven't asked, but we do ask up front now. If you apply for a loan, you have to get a business plan. If you don't have one, we'll help you put one together. That sort of stuff.
Well, you could do that as a term of forbearance. I just think we're going to have somebody sit down with them. There needs to be some sort of definable
There's some
outcome.
guidelines, yeah. Because we want to get something out of it as well.
Right.
I think that's very, very appropriate. We're getting, between the lines here with our last client, we get a lot of pushback. You guys are just asking us for reports. We're not going to give you it's getting this table here. None of us are dentists, but we pulled a lot of teeth.
Well, we had one that refused.
We've had more.
No, that's, straight up.
Yeah, well,
so
right.
We're
We've had one
that
that
person.
not only refused, but under the table with his shoe.
I guess I would ask to amend the motion then, if we're going to make something reportable within 6 months or 3 months or 4 months or whatever.
So that the mentor or consultant actually has a task of reportable to us.
I think Butch and the mentor need to come up with an actionable plan. They have to come to an agreement, and then that needs to be reported to us. Here's the plan that we're going to follow.
Sounds good. Because to everyone's skepticism in the seconding and the motion, this could go on for, and we have said this could go on indefinitely, which isn't really fair to anybody, taxpayers or the business.
Right. Chris made the motion.
I made the motion. What do we want to do here?
I think we a condition of forbearance is the interest payment, is meeting with a business consultant, and is coming up with a action plan for the business that would be reported to the subcommittee, what, first quarter?
Well, he's got quarterly reports due, so if you just tack that on.
What would we say, so what, July, August, September,
August.
October 1st?
I'll amend my motion.
I'll second the amended motion.
So vote on the amendment.
Any further discussion? All in favor of this plan? Okay, opposed? Okay, we recommend this to the council. Okay, village auto. Todd, you want to come on up? Todd, Deanne Baker, the village auto.
I can maybe run a bit through this. We, at the last meeting, the request was for a $30,000 guarantee. There were two components of the request. One was for a floor plan for used cars. The other had a component for their house. And I think the feeling at the time was we weren't quite sure about how that played into it. And so the EDA turned down the request, however, instructed staff to go and see if there's any other way we can do this. And so I had a thought that if we just did the $16,000 for the car and did like a straight loan and just have a blanket UCC on whatever cars are there, that would always roll forward, so whatever was on the lot would be the collateral that we would have as a city. I brought that brilliant idea to our attorney, who quickly shot it down and said that that won't work because of previous UCC filings. And so when, again, we were asked to find a solution, a way forward, we couldn't find one other than a guarantee for just the cars. So we're back with the request to do a $16,000 floor plan with a loan, or it would be a loan guarantee for a line of credit, $16,000. That would be with a financial institution to be named that hasn't been determined at this point. And we've asked them to hold off contacting other banks or credit unions until we've got through this process. So if the EDA wants to take this step to help, as far as I can tell, this is the only way that we can do it. Other than if you want us to manage a floor plan, which I really don't recommend.